Hi everybody, Brian from Steeda, spotlighting a part that's going to make your Escape handle more like a hot hatch. The Steeda adjustable rear sway bar for 2020 and later Ford Escapes. Straight from the factory, the Ford Escape has a ton to offer, and this is all the reasons why you chose the vehicle or are considering it. The reality is that you always want to add a little bit more of that sport feature to an SUV or compact SUV. Anytime you can make it more exciting and more thrilling to drive, well, you absolutely should be doing this. After all, you are the one driving it. Shouldn't there be a smile on your face after every time you get in it and out of it? Absolutely. The rear sway bar is a great way to do this because it helps reduce body roll, in particular at the back of the vehicle. And anytime you look at photos, especially the photo of when we had it out on pace laps down at Homestead, it really rolled over quite a bit. And kudos to the Ford engineers for really developing a great chassis so that they could run a softer, more compliant suspension for most of our street-going crew. The reality again is that you're watching this because you want more. Looking at this footage, you can see that the vehicle does tend to roll over, and part of that is because there's not enough rear roll stiffness. From the factory, they want to run a softer rear sway bar, well, so you get a little bit less rotation. Any of us that are enthusiasts, well, we want that rotation, and this is our reference to the hot hatch aspect of a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive vehicle, a little lift throttle, you want the back to kind of rotate just a little bit, or just more neutral handling in general, so you can have more fun at the exit ramps, more fun on your pace laps around Homestead, whatever it might be. The reality is that you need to reduce the amount of roll in the rear suspension. The rear sway bar is an easy bolt-on way to achieve this. The Steeda adjustable rear sway bar is designed to fit front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive Escapes. And because it's adjustable, you can ultimately tune it to what you're doing with the vehicle or the springs that you've installed on it. Maybe you've added a set of Steeda lowering springs and you want to get better handling out of it. At the stiffest position on the sway bar, it's 70% stiffer than stock. And albeit nearly the same diameter as a stock bar, we use a much thicker wall thickness tubing, and this allows us to create a much stiffer rear sway bar. If you don't want to go quite that aggressive, you can set it to the middle setting or the softer setting. There's still going to be an improvement over the stock setup. The adjustable rear sway bar is a great first modification to make to your Escape because it's a direct bolt-on and doesn't require any modifications. As noted, it also works in conjunction with the factory springs or aftermarket springs. And since it's easier to install than those, well, it's a great way to improve the handling. So let's talk a little bit more about this. As you're going through corners, the outside suspension starts to really lean and compress. And the point behind sway bars, the engineering behind them, is to utilize the inside springs or work against the inside springs to help stiffen this side. So naturally, if you go to a stiffer sway bar, it's very similar to, well, putting in stiffer springs. The benefit here, though, is a couple things. With the sway bar, you have adjustability to how stiff it is and how much reduction in roll there is in the back of the vehicle. Again, talking about your uses and how you want to set it up, you have that choice. In addition, you can set it up to match the springs that you're ultimately going to. But the beauty behind the sway bar is, if you're traveling a lot on the highway or in a straight line, you won't even notice the stiffness difference until you start to give steering input. The sway bar is neutral under normal driving, straight line driving. So again, around town, on the highway, you won't even realize that you changed it. It's when you get into corners and really start to turn the steering wheel that you'll feel it react. You'll feel the rear of the Escape being so much more predictable and active, if you will. You won't have to give it quite as much steering input. And you can modulate your steering with the throttle. And again, getting a little bit into this, a little bit deep into this, going back to, again, hot hatches and the excitement of driving these things, well, this is a great way to start in that direction. As noted earlier, the sway bar starts with a thicker wall tubing and is obviously bent to shape. But what really makes this impressive are the CNC cut billet steel ends that are then 360-degree welded around and cleaned up. These things are beautiful, but more importantly, strong. So regardless of what setting you have them on, regardless of what springs you're going to set it up to, this rear sway bar is not only stiff, it's also strong. In fact, it's backed by a lifetime warranty against manufacturer defects. In addition, we proudly manufacture the sway bar in the USA at our Valdosta, Georgia facility. The Steeda adjustable rear sway bar is a great modification to make to your Escape. It'll enhance handling and the overall balance of the Escape, as well as drive down the highway just like it did stock. It won't take away from the drivability of the vehicle. In fact, it's really just going to add fun to it, especially as you're starting to throw it around some of the corners. To see the latest and greatest things that we're testing on our Escape, follow us on social media. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click like and share it with other enthusiasts. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell so you get notifications of upcoming videos. We thank you so much for watching. Steeda, speed matters.